Hey all, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of Relay. It's advertised as a smarter phone for kids, but I think it's more of a modern-day walkie-talkie that uses cellular bands. So unlike radio frequencies, which are more restricted in terms of range, you can be anywhere within the country and still have very fast communication between a pair or even more of these walkie-talkie devices. Now this product actually was first released around this time last year for $99. But because this product works better if you purchase multiple of these walkie-talkies, they've reduced the price to only $50 per relay, so it's been slashed in half. Now it does require a data plan to work, however, and they have a service that sells for $10 a month that gives you unlimited use of the walkie-talkie service, essentially unlimited calling for each month, and it also has some geolocation services, which allows you to track where the relay is on the companion app on a phone or a tablet. Critics were already a fan this time last year, but since then they've added on additional features through software updates. It can now also act as a translator through 12 different languages, also using the unlimited data per month. It doesn't have a display, so it doesn't really hurt your child's eyes. If you want to have a smartphone detox, this is also a way to access that and kind of declutter yourself as a sort of anti-smartphone of sorts. So extremely simple, built for play with a very rugged design using 4G LTE and Wi-Fi. So if you're indoors, you can also connect it to Wi-Fi hotspots if you have better reception that way. Additional functions are always growing, but currently there's also a very basic digital voice assistant, so you can ask it things like what's the weather like, and also what's the battery percentage, and it will read it back for you because again there is no display. It can also act as a music player. There seems to be a few gigabytes of built-in storage, so you can connect it to a computer and play back some tunes. There is a standard headphone jack on the device. So here is kind of the press edition of the Relay box, but you can see that the presentation very colorful. Inside here we have just a welcome to Relay statement, and we also have a quick instructions on how to use it and adjust the volume, as well as charge it using a Pogo Contact Point proprietary charger. It allows the relay to remain splash proof, so you can use it in the rain, get it wet, and it will still survive. The actual consumer packaging itself is done very well. It is technically using Republic Wireless for the $10 a month service plan, which is a MVO that is using T-Mobile cell towers in the United States. Instead of the packaging, we have just the relay directly on top. We've got some instruction pamphlets along with some stickers that you can use to customize a relay with, or for your child to do that. And finally, there is the charging cradle, which is magnetic, and using these aforementioned magnetic contact points, simply snapping it on the back. So it's pretty easy to charge. The motto inside of the box, by the way, reads, "Go far, stay close." And then inside of the loop case, we've got what looks like a rubber bumper of sorts that just snaps onto the device. It still makes the buttons and keys accessible, so it is a bit of a flexible material that you can snap on like so, very similar to the Apple bumper cases back in the day. And here we also have the port that you can use to attach the lanyard or the keychain hook, which also has the Relay branding on it. Taking a closer look at the design, the relays are extremely compact, even next to a small 5-inch phone like the Redmi Go that we just did a review on a few days ago. You can tell that it's even smaller and extremely thin as well. Slides very easily into pockets, especially for kids, which is great. Now on the flip side, it does mean it has a pretty small battery, and immediately I'll say that battery life is probably one of the only weaknesses that I've encountered. It needs to be charged up definitely once every day, if not maybe even before you reach the end of a full day if you're doing lots of communication back and forth, because all of the radios are always turned on, and again, it's a pretty small pack. But anyways, the texture of the relay is made out of a soft touch rubber material, which makes it very grippy. On the edge, you'll find access to a 3.5mm headphone jack for private listening, either for music or for communication. We also have a slot for the pre-installed SIM card in case you want to swap it out for whatever reason. Again, it's simply using the Republic Wireless. The back here features the charging contacts, and we have just simply two keys on the very top. One which looks like a circle. This button here is simply used for switching back and forth between the different channels or features. It's also used to turn the device on, so we can hold on it for a few seconds to boot it up. The one on the top here is used for changing the volume, and you can long hold on the volume key to access voice commands. So there is a LED light ring also on the front that dominates the button which you can press down on that gives you different status. So this is a multi-LED colored ring essentially that acts as the notification system. You can also press down on this one button, so it's very simple, and just begin talking into it to let the other relay hear the message. So it is as simple as it gets, just like using a walkie-talkie, just like recording a video using a pocket camcorder back in the day, just one button just for talking. And whenever you get a message here, I can tap on this once if it's missed to listen back to it. And right now it is missed because we're not on the same channel as the red colored relay. So I can tap on the aforementioned dot key here to change between the different channels. For example,
talking to red.
Now it's on talking to red. And you can hear the messages that were previously missed will begin playing back. So if it's on a different channel, if you're speaking to someone else and during that duration, someone that wanted to talk to you sent you a message and you missed it, you can still play it back, which is definitely good. So as aforementioned, different channels you can switch between just by using this key. And again, the top button here is for changing the volume. Right now it's in the middle setting. Right now I can also change it to a louder setting. Here's the loudest, and here's the most quiet setting.
Now on translate.
And now it's on the translate mode. So right now I have translation between Chinese and English. So for example, hello.
你好.
And you can see it will translate pretty quickly, and vice versa. 你好.
Hello there.
You can see it will also translate that back into English. So you can speak into any of the two languages that you have it set to using the smartphone app. And afterwards, you don't have to tap on anything else for the speaker and for yourself. You can simply tap to talk, whether through your language or through the other person's language, and it will just translate it for you back and forth. Another channel is the Daily Joke, and it will basically tell you a quick joke.
What do you get when you cross a math teacher with
And
a
the
clock?
answer after a pause.
Mathematics.
If you look very closely underneath here, you can kind of tell that the microphone is basically positioned in this dot area, and the speaker is coming out from this portion of the relay. So not this entire kind of dotted canvas will act as a speaker, just these portions, but overall it's disguised pretty well. So as aforementioned, there's also the assistant. So if we tap and hold on the volume key, I can ask it questions such as weather.
Currently, it is clear in Sammamish with a temperature of 78 degrees. It will be clear throughout the day, with a maximum temperature of 83 and a minimum of 56 degrees.
I can also ask it for the battery. Battery.
Battery level is 82%.
So again, very simple and straightforward. With that being said, the assistant here is not using Google Assistant or Alexa, so unfortunately it's not going to be able to answer more complicated queries, things like searching for a nearby restaurant. Those functions are not available just yet. Again, probably because they're trying to cater this towards kids, so they've removed some of the more complicated functions out of privacy and safety reasons. So now I can also talk back to Mint from the red. Roger that, I heard you very well.
Roger that, I heard you very well.
So you can hear there's a split-second delay. Sometimes the end of your words can get occasionally cut off, but not a huge deal because you have unlimited messages that you can send back and forth between these devices. Please repeat that statement again.
Please repeat that statement again. Please repeat that.
And works pretty well. Overall sound quality, again, is relatively clean and doesn't have too many issues. Reception quality using T-Mobile cell towers, at least in the Seattle region, didn't pose any issues. The app is simply called Relay. You can find it through the iOS or the Play Store. All you need to do is download it and create an account to link the devices up and to set up payment for the kind of plan if you want the $10 a month plan. Afterwards, you'll be able to see things like their location on the map, the tracking, and also communicate and send messages to the relays, basically converting your phone or tablet with the app downloaded as another relay of sorts. So you can also talk and communicate with them and see what messages are being sent between them as well. So the app interface is very simple. We can just see currently the Mint and the red are both online because there's a green dot next to them. It turns red if they're turned off or away from internet. And you can also add additional relays. And then here are the channels or different modes and features that you can control, such as the translate. If I tap on this, you can manage the translation and have the function turn on or off for individual relays that you've connected and binded with the app. So right now I have it turned on for both of our relays, but I can also turn it off for the Mint, and it will update itself very quickly. I can also change the language for one of these relays between English and say I want another language to be German, Dutch, Korean, Spanish, Japanese. I can also change that from the menu here. The instant chat, which basically allows strangers with a relay to communicate with each other just by tapping into one another. So there is a NFC chip built onto these as well that allows them to communicate for a limited amount of time, maybe if you're meeting a friend, but don't have them paired using an app. Very simple and easy to use. If I have a question, I can tap on this box here that I can search through or even ask one of the professional team members from the relay company. Otherwise, down below here, we can see the aforementioned tracking function. So here we have it on a map, and of course you can see more details if perhaps different relays are at different spots at home, at school, or whatnot. And you can even set up features like geofencing, which are coming in an update soon, that will give you an alert whenever someone or the wearer of the relay has gone out of your specified parameter zone. Now, as aforementioned, your tablet or phone will also act as another relay when the app is open, or even if you close it from view, it's still going to be running in the background, as you can see there, to ensure that you're not missing any of the notifications which are coming along. So if I do a quick demo of sending a message out, I can just tap on the microphone key here. Here's a quick test of a message sent to everyone. And you can see it actually works quite well. You can see if there are any messages which weren't played for read, and also the last 5 messages which were sent and played on read. So you can manage all of that information. So that's more or less it for our hands-on review of Relay. I think of this as the modern-day walkie-talkie, which although advertised for kids, it's such a fun gadget that I think that almost anyone, even adults, co-workers, outdoor enthusiasts, could even find value in it, just because it's super simple to use, doesn't have a screen to distract you with other applications or games, and GPS tracking are all very useful, not to mention that $50 a pop is not expensive at all. We've seen lots of attempts to make smartphones or cell phones for kids over the years. It all started with the Firefly phone almost a decade ago. Since then, there's been a trend towards wearables like smartwatches for kids, but those can be a little clunky in terms of their user interface. And I think that the Relay might be the best attempt yet, just giving you something dead simple and still very colorful and attractive from a design perspective. So if all you need is communication and tracking for safety, it really is an interesting option to take a closer look at. But that's been Relay, the smarter phone for kids / digital walkie-talkie / anti-smartphone of 2019.